Every eye falls on her. Forced to choose between her real past and her fake future, Jo looks at Brenda and coldly tells her friends they need to leave. Betrayed and heartbroken, Brenda storms out of the mansion. Thrilled by Jo's cruel loyalty, Olivia officially addresses the cheering crowd. Loudly endorsing Jo Hunt for prom queen, Jo sneaks back home late at night. Her parents confront her, reminding her she was supposed to be grounded. Jo arrogantly replies that all she ever does is clean and go to school, and she just wanted to party at a friend's house. Roger smells the weed on her clothes, but she denies it. As punishment, Roger confiscates her phone. Frustrated, Jo storms into her room. She looks in the mirror and realizes with horror that her face feels like it is literally falling off. The next morning, the shedding is even worse. When she peels the dead skin away, it leaves a noticeable, discolored spot. She hurriedly cakes on makeup to hide the decay and heads to school. Surrounded by her new clique, she acts just as shallow as them. The school loudspeaker announces the official prom queen nominations. Jo's name is called, and she is absolutely overjoyed. Olivia even records a promotional video supporting her. In the corridor, Jo notices Brenda staring at her. Jo approaches and tries to apologize for kicking her out of the party. But Brenda sees right through her. She tells Joan that permanently changing her face proves that Joan genuinely believes she was ugly. Brenda asks, "Do you think I am ugly too?" Joan quickly denies it, but Brenda knows the truth. She wishes Joan luck, stating she won't be attending the prom because she doesn't want to watch another clone winning. Suddenly, Joan feels violently sick and rushes to the bathroom. Her facial deformation is rapidly worsening. She hurries to the ethnos clinic, but the waiting room is packed with people. The receptionist tells her the earliest appointment is next year. In a panic, Joan reveals her drooping face. The receptionist is unfazed, claiming it is just a common side effect, and hands her a specialized gel and invisible medical tape for treatment. Back home, Joan locks herself in her room, frantically applying the gel and tape to hold her skin together. Her parents knock on the door, wanting to talk. She hides her face and opens the door slightly. Sophia delivers devastating news. Roger has been fired. The wealthy owners discovered someone sneaked into Mrs. Adams' mansion, threw a massive party, and disabled the security cameras. Since Roger was the only employee with access, he was blamed and terminated. Sophia asks Joan if she knows anything about it. Noting that Joan had access to the house and came home from a party that exact same night. Cornered, Joan explodes in anger. She viciously denies it and cruelly tells her parents they should take this firing as a blessing, so her father can finally learn English and get a real job. She instantly regrets her venomous words and tries to apologize. But a broken Roger turns and walks away in absolute silence. Prom night arrives. Joan steps out of her room in a beautiful dress. She finds her parents celebrating quietly in the kitchen. Roger explains today is their 10th anniversary of arriving in America. Despite her cruelty, Roger looks at his daughter and tells her she looks beautiful. Sophia remains dead silent. Joan arrives at the dance with Nash. Everyone compliments her stunning appearance. She hits the dance floor, and as she and Nash lean in for a romantic kiss, Joan suddenly pulls away. Her skin is aggressively shedding again. She sprints into the washroom, frantically applying the emergency gel and tape to hold her sagging flesh in place. Olivia walks in and asks if everything is okay. Joan begs her to leave, but Olivia catches a glimpse of the melting face. Surprisingly, Olivia is entirely unfazed. She tells Joan that the old skin always fights back at first, but it gets better. Olivia expertly steps in, helping Joan apply the tape and gel to fix her face, proving that Olivia knows exactly how the ethnos products work. With her face secured, Olivia leads Joan out to the stage. The moment has arrived. The teacher opens the envelope and officially names Jo Hunt as the prom queen. The crowd erupts into deafening cheers. Joan walks up the steps and graciously accepts her glittering crown. But as the bright stage lights beat down on her, the adhesive tape completely fails. Right in front of the entire school, Joan's face violently splits and begins to melt. Massive flaps of pale, synthetic skin slide off her skull. The cheering abruptly stops. Students in the front row begin vomiting in sheer terror. Overwhelmed by the horrific humiliation, Joan collapses onto the stage and blacks out. Joan wakes up in an unfamiliar, pristine bed. A man calls out for Olivia. Olivia enters the room and tells Joan what happened. She calmly assures Joan not to worry. Very few people manage to get a clear video of her melting face, and Olivia promises she will make sure those videos disappear. Joan sprints to a mirror. Her face is still horrifyingly saggy. Olivia casually promises her that it will eventually heal. Olivia's father walks into the room and greets Joan warmly. He tells her it is incredibly rare to find a fellow ethnos enthusiast. He prepares a meal for them. Sitting at the table, Joan asks what their original race was before the surgeries. The father casually replies that they do not use the word race anymore. They believe that true equality only comes from completely eliminating it. He explains that when his family moved here from Cuba, they decided to start a completely new life and became some of the earliest clients of the Ethnos Clinic. He asks if Joan's parents have decided to change their ethnicities as well. Joan quietly says no. Olivia's father coldly states that people who refuse to share their ideology will eventually vanish from their lives. He reveals that Olivia's mother refused to undergo the surgery, which is why she is no longer with him. He calls it sad, but insists she could have had all this wealth and status. Listening to this cold, soulless philosophy, Joan realizes the terrifying emptiness of the life she chose. She immediately runs out of the house and rushes back home. She walks through the window and sees her parents sitting together. When Sophia sees her daughter's deformed face, she is initially horrified, but then bursts into tears and runs to hug her tightly. Roger joins them, embracing his broken child. Sophia cries, telling Joan that she finally understands her struggle. When they first moved to America, Sophia also felt like she didn't fit in. But she proudly declares that no matter what, they will always be Chinese. Roger holds his daughter and confesses that he too wanted to fit in when they arrived. But he realizes now that they must become their own unique kind of Americans, keeping their heritage and roots firmly intact. The next morning, Joan and her mother march back to the Ethnos Clinic to fix the mistake. But the clinic is now packed with crowds of people. When the receptionist spots Joan's melting face, she immediately calls security to throw them out. As they are tossed onto the pavement, Dr. Singer walks outside. Joan desperately demands that he change her back to her original self. Singer coldly refuses, reminding her that the procedure is 100% permanent and nothing can be done. Joan cries out that she is a monster. Singer looks at her without a shred of empathy and states, "For a new plant to grow and flourish, the old seed needs to die." In the haunting final scene, Joan returns home. Standing in her bathroom, fueled by anger and regret, she begins violently tearing the synthetic, sagging white skin away from her face. As she rips the false flesh apart, she discovers her original, beautiful Asian eyes looking back at her from underneath the mask. For the very first time in her life, she truly appreciates them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the recaps, PLS, like and subscribe. See you in the next recap.